In today's video, I'm going to share about the 20 benefits of following or keeping silence ourselves in a day, not continuously, but following as some kind of ritual, so we can get the benefit of in terms of productivity, in terms of mental health, and in terms of our physical health as well, and sleep as well, and overall productivity or energy will be going to increase by just keeping ourselves silence in some moment of time during our busy or scheduled day. The first I will going to share is that what is the health benefit, and whatever the benefits I going to share is science backed. There is a proven study and research has been taken out, and I have went through the research, and I collected the few important benefits which is comes out of from being a silent, because in a normal day we are keeping ourselves silent, but because something or something we are our attention is always being in a hijacked or busy by doing or performing, acting or reacting, or busy with our physical being is busy by doing something. And if we're not doing something, that we feel like a boredom, and we get distracted to the our bad behaviors, all the automatic reactive stuff. So keeping silence like that, having a maun vrat is very crucial. And I remember when during there is a first meditation has been taken from my school itself, and at that time I was in a fifth standard, and we have been trained by the instructions and guides that in the full day we have to keep a silence for at least more than 10 hours. There is a whole schedule of the Vipassana center, and we have followed the 3 days of Vipassana, where I learned the importance of being silence, or what is the at that time I didn't know anything about that, but now it becomes so much making sense to me that why it is requirement, we can say the non-negotiable thing in order to being productive or being a creative, or to carving out the solutions what we are facing for ourselves. Because every when our mind is occupied with all the consciousness is available with day-to-day activities, then we cannot get some kind of insights or the answers what we are finding. And sometimes there is a solution is always near in our within our reach, but sometimes we are making so much complex, and due to the unsilenced mind, or we cannot gather all this insight. So there is a 5 health benefits. The first thing is that it will help us to reduce the blood pressures. Normally what would happen that we all are dealing with short term stress, or the hypertensions, or the reactiveness, and we are not calming ourselves when we are dealing with some kind of deadlines or working on a very specific us. And then at that time, and if we have a physical illness of blood pressure or the heart rate like that, so following or being silent for 5 minutes to 10 minutes in interval of available time, that will reduce the blood pressure. This has been published in the Health Line 2020 article. And second thing is it lowers the cortisol level. Cortisol is the hormone where it is related to the stress responses. Whenever we feel any kind of threat, or not a real threat like a physical illness or like that, but sometime in a day-to-day activities, if there is a burst of anxiety, or the tension or the worry is going to fill our mind, then cortisol levels become very high. And following the silence or keeping ourselves calm at that moment will reduce the cortisol secretion from our brain and body, and it helping us to return back to the homeostasis of our being by having a relaxation, or being a reduced over the cortisol level. And third thing is that improve our sleep quality, because nowadays the modern lifestyle is very hectic, and we sometimes we work so much longer in the late nights, and we wake up very late in the morning. And sometimes we are getting if we are have enough time, then we not following our schedule of being a early riser or whatever the schedule fits with our work, and we always not fixed on our sleeping routine or the waking routine. So a quiet environment and promote the restful sleep or the deep sleep, or we can set it the REM sleep, which also going to boost our brain functioning or the cognitive function on the top notch level, and boosts immunity function, because if you are heavy if you are reduce the stress through the silence, it means that can strengthen the immune system, making our less susceptible to mental illness or the emotional illness as well. The fifth benefit is that promotes the brain growth in the sense our brain is built for the to make us survive, and we always try to conserve its energy for the vital activity for our brain, like breathing or the like a autonomic nervous system, like a respiratory system, breathing system. All this autonomous nervous system has a path, and it is following with the least energy. And when we are not, we is always actively consciously active in our busy schedule or the busy work, at that time our cognitive load is going to be very very in an increasing manner. And so research suggests that the silence can stimulate the growth of new brain cells, and particularly in the amygdala or the hippocampus uh, region of our brain, and that is related to the emotional regulations as well. Now I'm going to set the mental and emotional benefit of following the silence or the keeping the quiet in the in a moment or in a interval of the moment to enhance focus and concentrations. If we are always surrounding by the buzzes and the noises of our technology, our devices, our people and environment, everything, and by deliberately or due diligently if we are practicing the silence thing, then silence minimize the distractions, allowing the for deeper concentration with the improved cognitive performance, which is written in the whisper article 2023. It will definitely increase the cognitive function of our brain and our body, and stimulates the creativity. Sometimes we are working on a complex thing, and we try to figure out something with our logical mind, with our experience, with our knowledge, with our expertise, but somehow it is not figuring out at that moment. So following the silence rule or being some kind, like we have to find something place where we can make ourselves calm, compose, shutting down the our chatterings in our head, taking off our attentions from the highly demand complex work or the task or the any problem situations, and all of a sudden our intuitive guts or the creative is become to going to blossom through the silence, because when we are in a silent mode, subconsciously all the processes parallelly is going in our brain and body, and stimulations are little bits getting calmer and closer to the pin to the silence mode, like shutting down all the noises inside our consciousness is going to give us the creative solutions what we are trying to finding out. And definitely it reduce the anxiety and depressions over the time, because when we are reactive so much, we are drifting and swirling down in our day-to-day activities, which is highly demandable with our team, with our business, if you are chasing some kind of targets like that. And if the environment is not conducive to our character and our not character but our personality, and lot of distraction and stimulations is always being around us, then having a practice of being silent for a moment is going to boost our creativity and reduce the anxiety at the same time, and improves also the emotional regulations. Means silence allows us to observe our emotions without judgment, without criticisms or without even dumping down ourselves by putting a lot of pressure on ourselves, and by like a feeling of imposter syndrome or feeling of lack of confidence and self enthusiasm, or the unworthiness or the loneliness. All these things are going to shutting down by keeping silence ourselves for the moment. And productivity and performance like that enhance our decision making, because when we are in a silent, it directly induces you to the clarity and confidence, and clarity gained through the silence lead more as thoughtfulness and proactive with the effective decision making system or the approach. And boosting productivity, sometimes we are boggled down with a task in our hand, we and distracted by the more than a 30 minutes or the 1 hour with our by answering or the engaging with other people or other simultaneous work. And being silent will give us trigger consciously to our brain that no, this is the important thing, we are in a not right place. So this will also help us to enhance our productivity and spark innovation. As already said, that is a create, because creativity is always going to flow and grow and multiply, or help us to grow exponentially when we are listen to our intuitive guts or the intuitions, and which is not comes from our logical mind or from our degree or the studies what we are studied so far, what we are know for. Because sometime going off the track with grind is the key aspects of gaining all the answers or all the individual peoples or the environments or the opportunity. Because lot of time we are missing out of lot of opportunity just by being our making ourselves so much busy and so much engrossed in all the time, always thinking about the our business goal, our career goal, or our professional goal, and we are not so much focusing on our self care or the our own self well-being or the mental clarity. So all these things are uh, can be avoided by just keeping ourselves or going through the mode of silence in interval of our day-to-day time. And there is definitely the spiritual and the personal growth is there, because when we take a moan, when we are in a silence, we always try to observe our thoughts, our behavior, or automatic choices and emotions. And if we take a pattern of that by regularly taking intervention of our repeatedly thoughts, what is the dominant thought we are dealing with, and what is the dominant trigger that catching our attention to act immediately like that. So mindful moment and digital detox and nature immersion also is the way where we can cultivate the personal development or the self resilience and the personal growth for our overall well-being in our life and in our work.